What's going on, YouTubers? Happy New Year to everybody. We made it to 2020. Decided to record a quick video. The reason I'm doing this video, look like a lot of people actually like the mechanical side of it, I would say, like about the bushings, the motor mounts. Some people give the laughs. If you don't like it, don't watch it. I do it for myself, and maybe some people do get good information off of this, but I'm not criticizing anybody. I'm not the best mechanic of all time. I'm not pretend to be one, but I've been turning wrenches for quite a while. And today, I'm gonna abbreviate real fast. What is the PM, preventive maintenance? Not gonna go exact step by step, but the things usually doesn't get done, and the things I do, but obviously this is my own equipment and I work on other couple people's trucks, and the things I do beyond PM, the stuff doesn't get done at the truck stop or regular oil changes places. So obviously we all know what the PM including is changing the oil, preventive maintenance. So you drain the oil, you drop your filters, you put new fuel, oil filter and your fuel filters. And then a truck gets greased. Some of them check the tires, some of them check the hubs, the front hubs, oilers, and the rear end differentials like transmission and rear gearboxes. And that's basically it. They add on a windshield fluid washer. They might test it coolant. Some of them don't, and I don't know if I said it, and they grease it. That's basically it. Let's start from a grease. The oil change, it's pretty simple. Change the fuel filter, it's pretty simple. Anybody can do it. Check your gearboxes, it's a simple deal. I know of only one place what does this. When they grease the front end, what they do, they put the jack underneath the axle, and that's how they grease their kingpins. That's how I do it too. And specifically my truck, which is 379 Peterbilt, when I do service myself, I actually put the pot jack underneath the frame so I can take the pressure from my shackles. That's the things I didn't see anybody do it when you have a greasable leaf springs bushings. That's something gets skipped and never gets done. Hardly ever seen people check tires with actually air gauge. That gets skipped. Second of all, I never seen anybody go around and spray the latches, spray the door stops, and the hinges. That don't get done. Obviously, unless you ask them for it, but I would think it should get in preventive maintenance. Second of all, I've been working on quite a few trucks. For the example, like a zip ties, they break. They get hot, cold, they break, so nobody inspect those, like just to visually look it over, because I seen a zip tie broke and a plume of wire just hanging and rubbing on a head, for the example. That doesn't get done. So if you do that, you should do it. Second of all, nobody never looks over, especially in the wintertime, like the coolant lines, the boots, for the example, the metal strings, the rubber strings, and you get a little bit of leakage over there. So if you have a red coolant, you will see the red residue. If you got a green coolant, you will get green residue. Basically what it takes just to snug those bolts up a little bit and you're good to go. The hinges on the hood, for the example, they never get sprayed. Regular WD-40 just scored here, scored there. This rollers right here on the hood, they don't get sprayed ever either by oil changes places. But like I said, I do it myself. I check all this. I got a can of WD-40. I inspect all that and I spray it. Back here, I see quite a few trucks right in the tail. Wires, same thing. They're zip tied. Over time, zip ties get dry rotted. They break up, and you got a plume of wires just hanging. Same thing right here. That's the sensor. Goes to rear end. This is the rear of the truck. Zip ties never get checked on that. Don't see quite often people actually check brake chambers when they do PM. They just don't have an idea. Another thing, I understand they go through so many trucks a day, and all trucks have different grease zerks in different spots. On this specific Holland fifth wheel, which this is, right here, there's a grease zerks. I see lots of trucks. This part never gets greased. What it is, it's actually your fifth wheel pivoting, and there's a grease zerks. See, I grease mine quite often because it's built up. That needs to be greased. On a joist, they will have a grease zerk right up here, kind of in the center, that greases your jaws. But they don't have grease zerks there. But if you don't, at least spray penetrating oil, get rid of the rust. The bushings never get checked. They just skip by on that. They never check driveline once again. On the mirrors, same thing. Zip ties get dry rotted. The wires hanging, then they tingling, then a guy mirrors quit working. It's just the dumbest thing, little preventive maintenance. So that's what it gets skipped. I seen a truck got a PM done, preventive maintenance once again, and his U-bolts were loose, and the leaf springs start scissoring. Basically, the bottom leaf springs start walking this way, and the main leaf stay the way it is. The front end never gets checked, like the tie rod ends and stuff like that. I don't know why they don't do it. Maybe it would, if they end up doing it, be more expensive. But me personally, I would spend extra $150, $200 to get all this checked, so I know the truck is actually good. Motor mounts, that gets skipped too. That doesn't get checked till it breaks, or they completely gone, and then you have a metal to metal, and then wears the brackets out and stuff like that. Cap mounts, airbags. If they dry rotted, you could notify the guy and say, hey, your airbag's kind of getting weak. They dry rotted, they're not leaking, but they will start leaking any minute, and that doesn't get done. Exhaust leak, same way. If the guy, especially on this like twin turbos, it's hard to see it, but if the guy is not mechanically inclined, but he owns the truck, use a mechanic when you're doing a preventive maintenance, you could just grab a flashlight and see what's going on and see if you have a black suit or something like that. Notify the guy before he has major problems. Another thing, it's very easy to do and it lasts tremendously a lot longer. Alternators. All these little holes right here in the back and in the front, right underneath it, all the way around. This is called cooling ports. So basically sucks the air here and blows it out, cools it down. How hard is take the air hose with a blowgun and basically just blow air in all these holes to blow the dust out. I mean, I've seen a trucks so bad, you actually look inside, and I mean, they would be packed full of stuff up there. Guess what? The alternator gets hot and burns up. That part could last a long, long time. Belts, they do check. Some of people do check belts. I've seen that, but some don't. And another thing on a preventive maintenance, a lot of people don't know, but that doesn't get done every oil change. But if you have a truck with a 400,000 miles and you drove it, please change your harmonic balancer. That's basically little by little that thing gets stuck and you start having these weird vibrations, and they don't get changed. A lot of people don't know they even needs to be changed by Caterpillar, Detroit, Cummins. They actually all recommended 5 years or 500,000 miles, whatever comes first. Your harmonic balancing needs to be changed, but a lot of mechanics don't know that, or they just periodically ignore that part. Clutch adjustment, that needs to be checked quite often too. Some guys a little bit harder on the clutch, some guys are not, but they could be checked or could be asked, what is your clutch play? Basically how hard, if you're changing the oil, you just get in the truck and see you have a free travel in a pedal. If the pedal gets hard right at the get-go, it means you need to adjust your clutch. That doesn't get checked. I think I got covered all the basic things. I check all that. Obviously, I don't do the check the clutch because I'm the one who drives the truck, and I know when the clutch needs to be adjusted, when it's not. But all these things, just as simple as can of WD-40, it will make your truck last a lot longer. Oh, it's on my toolbox. Then if the truck's unhooked, these things don't get checked. I've seen their weather crack so bad, and the mechanics completely ignore it. I would think this should include in the PM all these things we're talking about. Lights don't get checked. Maybe guy skips it, or he thinks the mechanic should do it, and he realizes mechanics don't do it. But zip ties alone is the simplest thing. I've seen it numerous trucks. Over time, zip tie crack, the wires hanging, then they start rubbing, then you start having electrical issues. Some hoses hanged up by zip ties, like right here, for the example. They get, over time, the weather, once again, they cracked, and the hoses start hanging, then you start creating leaks. And everything starts from a simplest things. Another thing, with my personal experience, I had one trailer, older trailer, and I knew the grease jerk wouldn't take the grease, and I brought it to the shop to get the oil change. I don't remember what state it is. They never told me about it. And I think it's bullshit, because you should notify the owner of the truck, hey, the ass cam back there on your trailer doesn't take the grease, you need it taken care of, or pay us, we're gonna take the grease jerk out, clean it out, and do whatever so that thing gets grease. They don't even say anything. They checked everything okay, and they go on with it. I understand they hiring guys from school, they're just like a grease monkeys, and that's their job. But if you check all these things and you find the problems, you're creating yourself a little bit more work. First of all, it's your income. Second of all, the guy's happy what needs to be done. But not everybody's anal about the equipment, as me, but I am. I mean, that's how I do things. The example, like today, I'm about to go home, decided to record the video, but there's a can of WD-40, and for the example, on a Peterbilt, some people then, stuff gets rusted in, you just spray a little bit WD-40 in there. Now the door panel, not the door latch, is fine. On the Fred liners, especially on the older ones, their door panels kind of suck. Not the door panels, the door assembly, the whole thing is just kind of made very weak. And they have a ton of bolts like this on a Fred liner, and not a bolts, screws. What it takes, just take the screwdriver, snug them out. You as a driver could do that too. They will last you a lot longer, like this screw for the example here. This panels, they have a couple screws here, right there, right there, right there. You pop the covers off. See, that needs to be checked. Spray your latches with the WD-40. It's all built up. When I go look at the truck, or somebody asks me, hey, help me to buy a truck. You have more experience of turning wrenches. Can you go with me at the dealership or to the auction and look at it? The first thing I do, if the owner-operator own the truck, I look at the hinge. If they build out with the grease like that, and if that guy takes care of his truck that much, where he sprays his door latches and hinges, that tells you about the rest of the truck. It means the guy was taking care of the equipment. But if you open a door and it squeaks, and then you gotta slam your door 3-4 times, that means if the guy uses this door every single day and that doesn't irritate him, that means there'd be a lot more problems on the truck been ignored. But it just, like I said, it's just me. I'm not criticizing anybody. Nothing. The tire rotation, I'm not a big fan of rotating the tires often, but I do it maybe once a year. I literally basically throw this tires up there, this one over there. I never cross them out. Steer tires, on the Michelins, I did call the Michelin representative, and this Michelin tires are they directional, which is arrow this way. They are directional for first 10,000 miles. You can argue with me all you want. If you will call the Michelin representative, after 10,000 miles, you can put them in whatever way you want it. You can put the arrow facing this way, and I've done it before. I actually do. If you run them for like 10, let's say 10 to 50,000 miles, and then you rotate them, and you run them for like 50,000 miles, and then you rotate them again, the tires last a lot longer. And I'm not bullshitting anybody. I got 240,000 miles off of steer tires at one point in time, my older truck. But you gotta have a good alignment. So this is 15-minute video now, but that's the things I do. And once again, I'm not criticizing anybody if people turn in wrenches and then watch my channel. So maybe it will be a learning experience for you, maybe not, but leave the comment below. Thanks for watching. Happy New Year to everybody once again.